Hello everybody and welcome back to another My Porch Prints tutorials. This is Kyra and today I'm going to be showing you how to create this Shabby no-sew book tracker journal kit. And this should be a pretty simple project. There's not a ton of decorating to do today because this journal is made more for tracking books. So a lot of the pages are going to be for, you know, the book of the month, a reading log, favorite books, favorite quotes, books you want to read or have already read, that kind of stuff. So this would be a great gift for the book lover in your life, or maybe that's you. And if so, please share your favorite book down in the comments below, or maybe a recent book you've read. That way we can all kind of get ideas from one another and begin to fill out our book tracker journals when we're all done crafting today. But otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. And let's jump right into today's tutorial. Alright, so to get started, I went ahead and printed everything out ahead of time and cut everything out. This kit does come with everything you're going to need, so it comes with a spine since we're doing a no-sew binding method. And then you have all of these pages, which I did print everything on cardstock, including the pages to give them some sturdiness here. And you don't need to print on the back of this since we'll be folding these in half for our no-sew binding method. And then this kit also comes with some pockets and then some little ephemera labels and things like that. You could use these cards as bookmarks if you would like. There's only a little bit of ephemera in this kit because we didn't want the journal to get too thick. However, if you would like more, I will be linking some like different kits that would match this down below if you are looking for some more items to decorate with. But it does come with some fussy cuts. Again, everything printed on cardstock here that I'll be using to decorate with, as well as some of these page tabs. So once you've got all of those items cut and printed, we can begin to assemble. However, there is one more item you can get. This is going to be a freebie in our Facebook group for anyone who's a member there. You can find the link down in the description box below, and you can use this however you want. I'm going to be using them to create some hidden note cards later on, so I'll show you that a little bit later in the tutorial. Alright, so without much further ado, let's go ahead and start assembling our pages. So the first thing you're going to do is take two of the pages here, and you can again start with any page as your first page. You can have these in any order you want, so whatever, you know, suits your needs best. And then we're going to take that first page and we're going to fold it in half, give it a good crease, and try to keep things as even as possible while working here. And then we're going to do the same thing to our second page. And whichever page you want to be the first one in your book, you're going to want to have that on the left side here. And then taking these two pages folded in half, we're going to line them up at the spine. And you want these to be evenly aligned. You don't want them too high, too low, crossing over, anything like that. You want them to be, you know, aligned with one another when you glue them together. And I'm going to be using FABRI TAC to glue everything down today. This is a non-water-based glue, so it won't wrinkle your pages. If you're interested, we do have a link for this in our Amazon affiliate shop down in the description box, but otherwise you can use whatever glue works best for you. And we're just going to glue those together, kind of sandwiching both pages back to back like this, again trying to keep things as even as possible, just like that. And that is going to give us kind of our first signature here. And then we're just going to repeat that process with the next two pages. So do that same process again, taking the next two pages you want to use and gluing them back to back. Again, try to keep things as even as you can here. And before things dry completely, you might want to flip through your pages and make sure that they're not gluing together. Sometimes the glue will like seep through the edges of the pages and glue them together like that. So just make sure to double check that. And then once you've made another set of pages, another signature here, we're going to glue those two signatures together like this. And that's going to start building up our journal. And you're going to want to continue that process. So creating pairs of 2s, then pairs of 4s, then pairs of 8 until you have a complete journal glued together. And the reason we don't just glue 1 to 1 to 1 to 1 back to back is that it can sometimes start to get off. So it's a little bit easier to align it if you do it in pairs. And something else to keep in mind is while you're gluing these together, if you want to, you could glue like some ribbon in between the signatures and the pages like this. And that'll give you kind of a pretty decorative edge when you're all done. However, if you do do that, just remember that if you have the page tabs, you won't be able to add them to the sides of the pages because of the ribbon, and you'll have to put them like on the top of the pages instead. And something else you can do while gluing these together is to add glue to the top, bottom, and the side where the spine is, leaving the other edge open, and that way when you glue them together you create kind of a hidden tuck space for more note cards or more ephemera or things like that. Again, just keep in mind if you have ephemera you'll want to print on the back of it, since you'll be able to see kind of that blank space. Unless you're leaving that for writing, that's fine too. But that just adds a little bit more like room for ephemera in this journal. And then most of these pages are pretty self-explanatory for how to use them, but for the books I've read, just so that you know, the idea is that you will write the name of the books on the spine, so that's kind of how to use that spread. And then the 30 books challenge, how this one works is that you color in the books when you finish one, so until all 30 books are colored in. So in case anyone was wondering how those work, that's how that works. So once you've got all of those signatures glued together, it should look something like this, and now you have a complete no-sew journal. So what we're gonna do is take the spine and add this on by just kind of forming it around the spine. You'll notice that it has a little bit of give, so you can kind of like squeeze it down to a thinner spine here, and then kind of round the spine that we gave you around your spine. That was kind of confusing, but hopefully that made sense. The reason that we don't just fold it on the line is that everyone's paper is probably a slightly different size and weight and things like that. So this will give you the best fit for your specific journal. Just make sure that you have the top of the spine aligned with the top of your book. All right, so once that is kind of molded to the shape of your book, you can add some glue to the tabs like this. So just along the sides here, you don't need any in the middle. And then you can just form that back around the spine and glue it down. Now, you might have to hold this in place until it dries unless you have some clips. I'm going to be using Bulldog clips. And again, we have this linked in our Amazon shop down below. I highly recommend getting Bulldog clips if you don't have them. They're extremely handy for things like this. So I'm going to just glue that down and clip it in place and let it dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to be adding a closure here. You could use one type of ribbon or string. I'm going to be using 3 just to make mine a little bit more decorative. However, the jute cord was a little thick. I will kind of talk about that a little bit more later. But to create your closure, you just wrap it around the center of your journal. Again, I'm using a clip to hold mine in place so that it doesn't slide around while I'm gluing things down. But yeah, once you've got that, you can just wrap it around your journal like this, and then we're going to glue our covers on top. So again, take your glue and make sure to get it really nice and close to the edges. Be generous with the glue around the ribbon, and then just choose whichever cover you like. You can choose which one is the front and the back. I chose this one because I liked the colors a little bit more, so I'm going to make that my cover here. And then just align it to the cover of your booklet and glue it down. Now you can see that because of my jute cord, it was a little thick, so there is kind of a bump in my cover. So to avoid that, just use thinner, flatter ribbon. Something like this sort of sari silk ribbon would work really nicely. And then we're going to do the same thing to the back cover. So again, going around the perimeter with glue and then gluing the back cover down. And it's possible while you glue these down that you didn't get your pages cut perfectly or folded perfectly, things like that. So you can use some distress ink to go around those edges and kind of hide any white that's showing and just kind of make things blend in a little bit more. And it kind of gives like an antique sort of look to your journal. So I'm going to take mine all around all of the pages and covers here. And then once our covers are done, we can work on the inside. So I'm going to look for the blank pages in this book, and that's where I'm going to be adding in my pockets. So if you've used pockets before, you can kind of just skip this section here. But I did take a little bit of like lacy ribbon, and I'm going to add that to the top of my rectangular pockets just to make them look a little bit more decorative. And then for the triangles here, I'm going to be adding some glue along the edge and the bottom, leaving the slanted edge open, and then gluing those down into the corner of the page. And with the rectangular pockets, you can glue them to the bottom of the page or the center of the page, or you can stack them to create a layered pocket, which is what I'm doing here with these two. And then once you have all of your pockets glued in place, you can start filling them with ephemera. So I'm using these little circled pockets here. I did go over them with some distress ink to make them stand out a little bit more, but it's up to you how much work you want to put into this. You could just tuck things into the pocket wherever you feel like they look nice, or you could even use like paper clips to paper clip ephemera onto a page. So I did that with one of the bookmarks here because I'll probably want to use that bookmark in a book. And then we have those freebie ephemera pieces from earlier, and again, you can use these however you want, but I'm going to cut mine out, leaving them attached to one another, and I'm going to fold them in half like this. And then I'm going to add glue all along the perimeter, trying to stay as close to the edge as possible, and yes, you want to put this on the folded edge as well. And then when that is drying, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the second one here, and I'm going to go over these with a little bit of distress ink. And then next you're going to need a lined sheet of paper, preferably double-sided, and I would recommend printing on cardstock, something thick. I only had a sheet of paper on hand, so I just folded it in half to give it a little more stability, but I would recommend something like cardstock. And then I'm going to trace out my ephemera onto that and then cut that piece out, but a little bit smaller, like we're talking like a ½ an inch or maybe a ¼ of an inch. You just want it small enough to fit inside the ephemera piece. And rounding the corners can also help with that. So something a little bit like this, right? And you can go over that piece with a distress ink if you want to, it's kind of up to you. And then we're going to take our ephemera piece and we're going to cut it in half, one clean line right through the center. And then we're going to open those up. You can use scissors or a bone folder or a pencil or anything like that to kind of give you a little more space here. And then you just slide the little card you made right into that pocket. And then you can put the top on like this and then just kind of align the design back up so that it's seamless and hidden. If you're having a little problem like getting it to fit, you can trim a little bit more off the perimeter of your card, and that should help things work pretty smoothly just like this. And now you've got a little bit more writing space that you can use. If you did my advice earlier and added like tuck spaces between all your pages, you could print this out multiple times and make multiple hidden cards, and then you'll have a lot of writing space in this little journal. But once you're done with that, the next thing to do is just a little bit of decorating here. We've got some little fussy cut pieces, so I'm just going to glue those down and use them to kind of decorate my pockets here so that they look a little bit more purposeful, I guess. And you could use some cheesecloth or, again, ribbon, things like that. I would avoid buttons or anything too thick because, again, this journal kind of has a set width for the spine, so it'll start to kind of do the alligator mouth thing pretty quickly if you use too many thick pieces. And then lastly, we're going to be adding some page tabs here. So I went ahead already and kind of organized mine so that the designs overlap nicely. You don't have to think that hard about it, but if you want to, you could pause the video and kind of see the order that I sort of chose for mine. And I'm going to be starting with my first page in the top right corner here. So you just take these little tabs and you fold them in half, add a little glue on both sides, and then you just kind of pinch them around the edge, like the border of the page like this, and that creates the little page tab. And then we're going to continue by adding them to the following pages, but I'm going to stagger them. So I'm going just down a little bit lower and then the next one a little bit lower than that. The only thing to be mindful of is if you did a closure, you'll want to leave space kind of in the center so that you can tie your book closed without the page tabs getting in the way. So just, you know, be mindful of that as you work here. And then these are in groups of 4, so you just kind of finish the first set and then start over back at the top of the page and continue on until all of the pages have page tabs. And when you're done with that, you will find that there are 4 tabs left over, and you can use these however you want. You could add them to the top of a piece of ephemera or a pocket, something like that. I decided to go ahead and add mine to the top of my book. So again, I'll be starting with the first page in my journal and kind of add it to the center there. I am using distress ink on these ones, which I didn't do on the others, just to kind of make them stand out a little bit more. I don't know, just something different. So I'll kind of just add these throughout the book, anywhere that I think I'll use that page a lot. So for example, The favorite quotes page is one that I think I would flip to pretty often, so you can choose whichever page works best for you and however you want to use these. But when it's all done, it should look something like this, and now we've got all those pretty tabs added. So the last thing to do would be to decorate the cover. So I held back 2 of the butterfly fussy cuts to use, and I'm going over them with Distress ink, including on the back of the wings, since you'll be able to see them a little bit, because I'm going to be doing this 3D effect here where I fold the wings, like I fold the whole butterfly in half, and then I move slightly to the left and create another fold, and that gives you this little panel kind of right in the center of the butterfly where you can add your glue, and then when you glue it down, it kind of has like a pop-up effect where the wings are sort of 3D, and it kind of looks like some butterflies flew over and just landed on your book. So it's a little fun trick, and I think it looks really pretty here. And then lastly, I added the My Books label kind of right over where I had that ridge on my cover to kind of hide that a little bit. And this is how the final book sort of turned out. So I'll do a little flip through here for anyone that wants to kind of have a better, closer look at all of the pages in case you missed something earlier in the video. But otherwise, that is going to finish up today's tutorial. So don't forget to share your favorite book or a recent book you've read down in the comments below. I'd be really curious to see what you guys are reading or what you think I should maybe take a look at. I used to be a pretty avid reader, especially when I was younger, and then I think as I got older I kind of fell off of the reading train a little bit, so I've been trying to get back on recently. I would say I think my favorite book has got to be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Just for me, it holds so much magic and nostalgia, so I really enjoy those books, and that would probably be my first recommendation. I'll talk about my second one here in a little bit, but something else you guys might not know is that Stephanie, who makes all of our designs and is kind of like the creator of my Porch prints, is also a published author. And if you go down to our Amazon affiliate shop down below, we actually have a section for her books, so you can go check those out if you're curious, if anyone's looking for something to read. There's a couple options down there from her that you might like to check out. But otherwise, I think my other recommendation for you guys is this book I picked up a couple years ago called Wicked Plants by Amy Stewart. And it's got these really cool illustrations in it and just some interesting history and facts about like dangerous plants out in the wild. So if that sounds interesting to you, that's my recommendation. But otherwise, don't forget to leave your recommendations down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. And I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye!